Hey guys, and welcome to episode 7 of Crafts from the Third Floor. I'm Tracy and I am the person behind Norah George Yarns, and this is my podcast about sewing occasionally, spinning, knitting and dyeing yarn. You may notice I am not coming to you today from the third floor. I'm actually filming while on holiday in Barbados. I've got a lot of knitting done while I've been here, so I thought it'd be fun to do a little impromptu podcast about what I've been working on since I got here, and also showing you a few things that I had before I went away. So what I'm going to do is start off with my finished objects. If you follow me on Instagram, you'd have seen possibly that on the night before we flew, I actually finished my first holiday project, which is handy. This is a project that had been on the needles for a really long time, so I'm glad it kind of was off the needles. And the first project off the needles are my Gryffindor Socks. So these have been on the needles since July, which is shameful really. I'm definitely on Project Whip at the moment and trying to get all of my existing projects off the needles, so I was really happy to get these done. I'd already done one, it was just the second one that I had to finish. So in the car on the drive down to the ebb, it's about 2 hours from our house, 2.5 hours. I managed to finish possibly from about here, and then the evening before we flew I finished the toe and kitchenette. So my first finished object was these. Just in case you're wondering, my go-to, you have to excuse the noise, we're right near the road, so it's a bit noisy today. It's Sunday, so everybody's just finishing up at church. I should say what time it is, but I have no idea. I think it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock, but I really don't know. It's not lunchtime because the alcohol's not started flowing yet. So anyway, back to my socks. There's 15 rows of a 2x2 rib, and then it's just a vanilla sock pattern, which is just knit, a fisherman's kiss heel, and then a simple decrease on the toe and a kitchenette toe. The yarn is my yarn that I dyed as part of my Harry Potter House Crest club last year, and it was a subscription club where you had 4 instalments of all the houses from Harry Potter, and Gryffindor I believe was the last one, even though I still haven't knit my Hufflepuff socks, which I will do when I get home. So there's my Gryffindor socks, and I love them. I also just realised I didn't tell you where you can find these. This is what happens when you don't make notes and you just rush to set a podcast going because the kids are over at the beach. So you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Norah George Yarns, which I'll try and put up on the screen. I'm not sure my editing skills will be as great because I'm actually going to edit and upload from my iPad and not from my computer. So you should have something along here of where to find me. You can find my Norah George shop on Etsy. It's norahgeorge.etsy.com. We also have a group on Ravelry, which is Norah George Group. I'm not hosting any knit-alongs at the moment, but there will be some coming in March time. But head on over there if you're knitting anything with Norah George Yarns. I'd love to see it. So please pop it in there. Or if you're going to post anything on Instagram made with Norah George Yarns, if you can just use the hashtag made with Norah George. And I look at that all the time, and I really love to see what you're knitting. So back to finished objects. We're going to be all over the place today. I blame the sunshine, although there isn't too much of it today. My second finished object is this. Excuse me, I've not woven in my ends. It has been lightly blocked while we were here, just so that I can see the pattern and post a picture. But I'm saving the ends for when I get home, so I will block it properly with my blocking wires. So this is the Follow the Butterflies shawl. It's a test knit that I've done for Naomi Buchanan, and she is Cozy Cute Knits on Ravelry, and Novel Naomi on Instagram. So she contacted me and asked me if I'd like to test knit this pattern for her, and I said yes, of course. And it has been an absolute delight. Look at the detail. Cover my face. So you've got these beautiful eyelet design and a beautiful central spine, and it increases so beautifully the top of the shawl, dead straight, and then the edge I actually cast off possibly differently to what it said on the pattern. I can't remember, because I wanted a little roll on the edge. The hem just had add a bit of interest. And the yarn that I've used, let me ball it up a little bit so you can see. The yarn that I've used is Hedgerow yarn, and it's on her MCM base, so it's the merino cashmere nylon, and the colourway is Arsenic and Old Lace. And if you can see, I'm not going to give too much away, but the cast on point is here. So you can see there's a lot of pink in the top, but as you go out it disperses out, so there's almost like a kind of gradient effect through the shawl. But I love it, it's a beautiful size. It's fast to get it right. It's a beautiful size for a shawl, and I absolutely, this yarn is so soft. And I will definitely knit it again. I think Naomi is planning on releasing this pattern on the 1st of March. So keep an eye out, follow her on Instagram, she'll release details of it. But I highly recommend it if you haven't knit a lace pattern before, or even a shawl. It's incredibly simple and straightforward, very intuitive, and lovely if you want something that's easy but not a completely plain shawl. It's just lovely. If you can show you, the wingspan is not, it's just under my wingspan. So I'm not sure how big that is, maybe just over 1.5 meters. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure it will block out more than that anyway. So these are my finished objects. So I'm doing pretty well considering we're on holiday. And I have a half finished object too. And this is my Saltwater Taffy sock. The yarn is a Knit Picks Felici. My Saltwater Taffy sock. The yarn is a Knit Picks Felici in Saltwater Taffy. It's got this gorgeous striped gradient in the middle, and then sandwiched by this beautiful turquoise and pink section. I used some of my own yarn for the heel, which is an eye of partridge heel that I've done, and also for the toe, which did my usual decrease and Kitchener toe. And the pattern for the main part of the sock, I haven't got any sock blockers unfortunately, so I just have to show you on my hand. The pattern is Vanilla Latte sock, which is a free pattern on Ravelry, which is a really great pattern if you've never knit socks before as well, but you want something that isn't just knit, because it can get quite boring sometimes. And I started these on the plane on the way over, and I got to about, I think about here on the plane, and then I just finished the rest in the first couple of days that we were here. So I have the second sock to cast on. Here's the yarn, Saltwater Taffy. I don't believe they've got this in stock at the moment, I haven't actually checked, but it's a beautiful yarn. I'm really happy with that. And my other, lean over, because obviously I'd finished a pair of socks and a shawl and I'd got a half object, I had to have a little cast on party. So, the first sock that I cast on yesterday was this, to not lose my stitches. Okay. And these, the pattern is Heart to Heart socks, and this is by Quirky Hand Knits. You can see, I can get it to focus on the pattern, put it into my face maybe. It's this lovely heart design. I can't stretch it too much because of the needles. It's a lovely heart design, and the yarn that I'm using is this. And this is a Norah George yarn, it's one of mine, and it's called Bloom. So it's a more recent colourway. Excuse the traffic, I hope you can hear me okay. So the main colourway is called Bloom, and it's a natural base with speckles of different shades of pinks and purples. And this is on my new base, which is coming to the shop in March, and this is a Blue Face Leicester and nylon mix, so 75-25, Blue Face Leicester and nylon, and it is lovely. I've been wanting to offer something that was, just sort of focus out, I've been wanting to offer something that isn't merino, because I know that not everybody likes merino, and that's absolutely fine. And I've sort of come to love blue-faced Leicester yarns myself. They're really great for socks, really hard wearing. So I thought, well, I'll take it on holiday and give it a trial, and I absolutely love it. So the contrast colour is mulberry, which is also one of my yarns, and I'm knitting it on my 9-inch circulars, which are my 2.5mm. So today I'm hoping to get to the heel on these ones. So that's my first cast on, and my second cast on is the Love Along Socks by Amy Meeks. Excuse the needle sticking through there, I'm just on the heel. So I've left my 9-inch circular in, which is a gorgeous design sock. I'm sure you've seen it. It's got this lovely eyelet detail here, and then this little knot detail down as well. This is the back of the sock. I've just started my heel. So it is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, so I won't go into too much detail. The rib, I did my own rib, which is a 2x2 rib for 18 rounds, which is what I normally do. I've done 3 pattern repeats, and then it's an iron partridge heel, which actually looks a lot better than it did a few minutes ago when I was doing it. I couldn't actually see the pattern, so I'm halfway through the heel flap there on these socks. The colourway of these is a Norah George, and it is my limited edition pre-order Elizabeth Bennet yarn. And you can see this really lovely pale greeny blue colour, and it has speckles of red, yellow and areas of purple as well. I'll show you the other side. And then the contrast was this lovely sort of dusky lilac colour, or mauve. I'll show you in the cake as well. So this is Elizabeth Bennet yarn. I think everybody who pre-ordered that has received it now, so I'm not too worried about showing it to you. And that's my other cast on. I do have other things to cast on, but first of all I will go through my recent purchases. So this isn't a recent purchase, but it's a purchase that I haven't shared for some reason, and Alex actually commented on Instagram, and then I realised that I hadn't actually shared this beautiful bag. So I had this bag a couple of months ago. It's from Alex Collins Designs. It's a hand screen printed fabric at the top, and a beautiful blue linen on the bottom. It's a great size. There's Alex's stamp on the inside as well. It's a great size. I've been keeping 2 pairs of socks in here, plus my sophisticated notions pouch. So I've got 2 of my contrast yarns for my socks, and this one, and also keeping these 2 projects in it as well. So it's a pretty decent sized bag. You can get pretty much everything that you need in there, and I absolutely love it. And I kept it on the shelf for a really long time because I loved it so much and I didn't want to use it. But now I'm using it and enjoying it, and kicking myself for not using it sooner. So that is that. Just trying to tidy up my yarn because it's getting all tangled. I should have said, I'm going to go back to this shawl. I had from one skein this much left. So it's perfect one skein shawl project as well. Which I should have said, but I'm all over the place today. So second purchase, I'll show you, is this bag. And I ordered these from Daisy, I'm going to forget now, I feel really bad. I'll put the information up. I don't think there's a tag on the inside either. Daisy Stitches, I think on Instagram and on Etsy. I bought this bag in a Harry Potter themed one. And again, this has got like a linen effect. I think it's a cotton on the bottom, but I just love this flowery fabric, and also this detachable handle, which is really useful. And in here I've got some yarn to show you, but I'll show you that in a moment. But I've got the remainder of my Knit Picks yarn, 3 full 100 gram skeins, a 20 gram mini, and 2 20 gram minis. So that gives you an idea of how big this bag actually is, and they're very similar sizes. Obviously this is a drawstring one, but you do, when you draw it closed, Obviously you lose that space at the top, which you don't with zippered, so you can see they're really similar size. They're perfect travel companions, so to speak. And my last purchase to show you is my tech pouch. It's called a tech pouch, but I'm using it as a project case. And this is a leather case from This Is Grand. So it's quite slim. There's the logo. That's upside down. There we go, try again. And when you open it up, it's got spaces for pens or needles. I've got my circulars tucked in here, so they're not moving anywhere. They're also protected because the lid is reinforced. I've got my stitch marker case here from Fringe Supply Company. And also in the bag you've got this small little case, zipper case here, which is supposed to be for cables and things like that, but I've got a lovely darning needle here, which was from the lovely Holding Yarns. I have got my scissors, my lovely Merchant & Mills baby bow scissors, and a collection of stitch markers, which I believe are mostly sucre apart from a couple. And they're quite hefty size and they all fit in there perfectly. I also had my tape measure and things in there. Also at the bottom there's these three sections here, which are perfect for keeping packets of DPMs and also circular needles still in their packets. But I can fit, what I've had in here is this Knit Picks yarn and leftover. I've had my half finished sock, my pair of Gryffindor socks, if I can rest them in there, and also my notebook. So all of that fits all in. Everything fits beautifully in here because it's reinforced, it's really secure. I'm not going to worry about the needles getting damaged or anything like that, so I highly recommend this. I think this is called cognac leather, but it's the kind of leather that will get scuffed and age, which I love. I think they get real character when they do that, so you can see the scuffs and scratches in there already. But I absolutely love it. So I was just going to show you some more yarn that I brought on holiday with me. So it's not necessarily an acquisition, but more of what I brought to play with. This skein here, which was my, let's try and think now, what's it called? My Walk of Fame sock club, which was a monthly club that I ran last year, inspired by films, and this was The Shinings. This was the October edition. If I can just show you. It's a lovely sort of creamy yellow base with speckles of green, black, red, pink, and orange. So the idea behind this yarn was I wanted it to look like a little snippet from the 1970s, which is obviously when The Shining was filmed. So it's got all those sort of vintage kind of colours, and I absolutely love it. I loved it in the skein, but in the cake it looks even better. So my plan for this was to knit a shawl with it, and I think I'll be doing the Antonia shawl by Madeline Windsor, because Madeline very, very kindly gifted it to me because I was asking for one skein shawl pattern idea, so I think that's what I'll cast on with this one. I also have two skeins of yarn which are new bases that I'm trialling for the shop. And this is also a new colourway that will be available in March, and this is called Iris, and this is a beautiful mix of very soft pink and lilac with blue, green and yellow. I can just move my head so we get focus. And this is a mohair based sock. I can't remember the percentages, but it's superwash merino, mohair and nylon. So it would be great for a real treat pair of socks or for a shawl, because it's got a look, you can see the halo on that. It's beautiful. And it takes colour very softly. So it's perfect for these sort of gentle, dreamy sort of colourways. I just love it. I can't wait to get knitting with that. And this is a colourway that will be available on pre-order in March. So that's the colourway that's on its way. And the final one, I should say, I have if I do make socks or a shawl, I will use this mini as a contrast. This is one of my mini schemes as well. And I've been dyeing up lots of solid mini schemes to offer contrast colours in the shop. So all of these will be listed in the shop alongside the colourways that they'll match. So you can either choose to have a 20 gram, 50 gram or 100 gram contrast colour. All the birds flying over my head. But I'll go into shop details later on. And the last skein of yarn that I brought with me is this one. This is a coloured Donegal net, and the colourway is petrol. So it'll be a colourway that's coming to the shop as well, which is a lovely sort of greeny blue, and the flecks in there are sort of pink, and see if I can get this. Let's turn it up a little bit so you can just see the colours of the net. So there's pink, yellow and green, and natural, and occasional blues. I think it's hard to see on this colour, but it's a coloured net, Donegal net yarn anyway. And it's absolutely lovely. So I'm planning on socks with these, with this as a contrast. I'm going to turn this exposure up a little bit. So this was actually one of my Christmas mini schemes, and I cannot remember what it was called. Anyway, I thought it went quite nicely. This is a superwash merino nylon. This is a Donegal net, so it's 85% superwash merino, 15% coloured Donegal net. And I thought they went really nicely together. The pinks and reds in this scheme, and there's also blues and yellows, flecks in there. Obviously pick up on the colour of the flecks in here, which you can't see brilliantly. Maybe like that. But you get the idea anyway. So those are the yarns that I brought with me. So I'll swiftly move on to shop news, because obviously today's going to be a very short episode. So shop news. The shop will reopen on the 15th of February, and in the shop for this update will be completely pre-orders. There will be all of my Harry Potter colourways available on pre-order, and they will be available on Super Sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and 100 gram skeins, and dinky skeins, which are 20 gram skeins. Same base, just a smaller. I'm only doing 5 of each for each colourway, and this is the last time that the Harry Potter pre-orders will be available until the summer. I've got lots of new colourways I want to bring out. And that's what will happen at the end of March. So 15th of February will be pre-orders for the Harry Potter ones, and they won't be available again. I'm planning for June. I also have pre-orders available on my Valentines Day colourways, but anyway, my February colourways that I brought out, which were Lily, Bloom, I Don't Like Pink, His and Hers, and Vintage Rose. They are all in sock sets. I will try and put pictures of these colourways so that you know what I'm talking about, but they will be available on pre-order. I will also have Berries and Cream on pre-order and Toffee Apple sets on pre-order. And they will all be just on the standard 75-25 superwash merino base in 100 grams, and the sock sets are 100 grams plus the 20 gram scheme. I think that's all that I'll have in the update on pre-order. There are a few spaces left for the Great Characters of Literature Club, which is what this Elizabeth Bennet scheme was from. There's a few spaces left for March, and the character is Jo March from Little Women. So the pre-orders for that will close on the 1st of March, and they will ship then towards the end of March. I will also be opening up spots for Mrs Weasley's Knit Club, and that will be round 4, which will be April, May and June. They will open, I guess actually I could open those on the 15th of February, so when the shop reopens on the 15th, round 4 of Mrs Weasley's Knit Club will be available. Round 3 that's ongoing at the moment, the theme was magical creatures, so the first 2 instalments went out together because I was taking a holiday, so I dyed up everything sooner. And the creatures were centaur and pigeons Centaur and Garden Gnome, and I will insert a picture of them here. Every round for Mrs. Weasley's Knit Club is different. There's a different theme, and the 3 skeins of yarn that you receive will work brilliantly on their own in a shawl, a pair of socks, whatever you'd like to knit from one skein of yarn, or they all play beautifully together, so you could use them in a 3-colour design. Maybe it's a shawl or a sweater or I don't know, but they're all designed to be beautiful alone but work perfectly together. So it's a great club if you just like to have a different skein of yarn every month, or if you want a collection of yarns to use in a larger project. So that will be available. I won't give away the theme, it's always a surprise, but the first 2 rounds were sort of mid-range kind of colours. The first round had a soft peachy pink, a pale blue and a speckled. So there were 2 sort of semi-solids and then a highly speckled yarn. The second round was, it was social events at Hogwarts, and there was a lovely rich red wine colour which was Slughorn's dinner party. There was Yule Ball, which was a really brightly speckled skein of yarn as well, and the first one was St Nick's Death Day Party, which was like a greeny red, a green with speckles, and it was one of my favourites, that one. So every round is different, and it's really fun sort of dyeing those up on a theme and also to make the colours work together. So that will be available too. Coming up in March, I'm going to have some new colourways coming out. I've also been working on my website, which is live now. It's norahgeorge.etsy. There's not a lot on there, but I am working on having all of my colourways photographed and on that website as a reference. Then those colourways will then be either released as pre-orders or will be released as ready to ship items. So there'll be pictures of everything. The pictures will be the colourways in the skein and also knit up into socks so that you can get an idea of how the colours would work. Because a lot of my colourways now will come as a sock set. So you'll have the 20 gram contrast skein for heels, cuffs and toes, and then you'll have the main 100 gram skein. So I will have images of the skein and also how it's knit up next to it with a rib in the contrast so that you can see how the colours play together. On that website as well, I will also be putting show notes and things like that, so it's worth checking out. There's a little bit of information on there now. It's not 100% up to date, but you can just go over and have a feel. I still need to change some of the logos and the headers and things like that. So in March we'll have some new colourways coming, which will include Iris. Let's see if I can film wherever Iris has gone to. I'll show that again. So you'll get Iris, that will be on there, with a pale aqua coloured contrast. I'm also bringing out a luxe range of yarns, which will be mainly semi-solids or very lightly speckled yarns on luxury bases. Merino silk, I'll have a yak base, camel silk base, and some other bases as well, and they will be available on the dyed toward basis. So there'll be obviously a photograph of the image, and then you can order which base that you'd like that colourway to be dyed on. I'm also planning on doing 2 updates a month, a pre-order update and a ready to ship update. So my pre-order update will be at the beginning of every month, and my ready to ship will be sort of halfway or towards the end of every month. So this will be effective from March. Although my pre-orders obviously are opening on the 15th of February, so they'll be opening a little bit earlier than normal. There's buses going past now. I'm also introducing a range of tonals and semi-solids, like I said, so yarns like these that will coordinate with my colourways, and on each listing and also on the website will be a list of colourways that these tonals will go with. So this is the tonal that came with the Elizabeth Bennet yarn, but it also tones really well with the shining because there are purples and pinks and things. Also the bright pink works too. So there will be a list of the colourways that each tonal will match. These will be on a dyed toward basis, and they will also be dyed up as ready to ships, but will probably work better on dyed to order, and they will be available on 20 gram, 50 gram and 100 gram skeins of the tonals. Most likely to start off with just the 75-25, but we'll see how it goes. So really that's all I have to say. So shop reopens on the 15th of February. So I would love to see you there. So it's the last chance you're going to have to get the Harry Potter colourways now until the summer. So if you do want some of those, then try and get on that update if you can. New colourways coming in March, which I'm very excited about. And also I'm going to be working a lot on the website, which is why I'm toning down the pre-orders on the Harry Potter just for a couple of months, just to give me time to get that sorted. So thank you everybody very much for joining me. I'm going to close the podcast with some videos of our holiday. So thanks very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It's the best way to keep up to date with when new episodes are uploaded. And also like if you like it, and if you don't like it, I'm really sorry. But there's so many great podcasts out there. I'm sure you'll find one that fits, but if you stick around, I really like that. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you back in snowy, cold England in a couple of weeks. Happy knitting, guys. Bye.
It's a leaf. Did you do that, Peter?
No, that's orange juice.
What would you like for dinner?
The chicken.